German retailers have been anxious to unlock their doors. After a nearly month-long shutdown, some shops have finally been allowed to reopen this week.
We
have taken all safety measures, first of all, because of the hygiene, and have written to several customers who want to visit us. We are ready to go.
The stores that are allowed to open need to be under 800 square meters in size and stick to social distancing and hygiene rules. Businesses such as cafes and hairdressers remain closed, but customers say they're happy about any revival.
This whole time it was like a ghost town. That was okay, but I'm happy that we're moving ahead again. We saved enough money and now we have to go out and spend it.
People eager to buy is what Europe's biggest economy needs. Analysts estimate the lockdown has cost German retailers more than $30 billion in sales. And the IMF says GDP will contract by more than 7% this year. Car makers are among the hardest hit. They are looking to resume production as soon as possible, with Daimler and Volkswagen gradually opening factories this week. In Spain, people in the industrial and construction sectors have also headed back to work, while Denmark has allowed smaller businesses, including hairdressers and massage salons, to reopen. Restaurants and cafes remain closed. Germany has the 5th highest number of coronavirus cases globally, but fatalities are relatively low as it has one of the world's highest testing rates. While the health ministry last week declared the virus under control, Chancellor Angela Merkel on Monday warned a lockdown may be reintroduced if infections shoot up again after the partial ease of measures.
Natürlich fällt das schwer.
Of course it is difficult, but if we now ease restrictions, then we just don't know exactly what the repercussions will be. And that's why we have to take it slowly and a step at a time. It would be tragic if we knowingly relapsed and if we knowingly endangered these first successes.
Social distancing rules remain in place across the country, with some states, including Bavaria, making it compulsory to wear masks in public. As Germany looks to resuscitate business, it's facing the challenging task of balancing economic action and public health. Sibel Karkus, TRT World.
Well, for more on this, Ulrich Leuchtmann joins us now from Frankfurt in Germany. He's the head of FX research at Commerzbank. Welcome back to Money Talks, Ulrich. Now, we heard there a bit about how the German economy has been impacted by the various shutdowns across the country. Can you just give us a more detailed picture about how Europe's largest economy has been hit by the outbreak?
Well, obviously, we have seen a major collapse in consumption in many sectors, in many retail sectors in Germany. We have also seen a very large contraction in industrial production. And this, by the way, is something which will not go as easily away as the effects on retail, because in Germany, the industrial sector is very much dependent on other economies in their global value chains, and therefore this is something which still depends on what other countries are doing. Therefore, at the moment, we will certainly see a very bad first quarter. We will also see a very weak second quarter in this year in terms of GDP. But from my perspective, from a financial market perspective, the important thing is that we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel with these partial openings up.
Yes, now in terms of the broader Eurozone economy, the IMF has warned that the Eurozone could suffer a 7.5% contraction this year, which is incredible if you just think about the scale of those losses. But in terms of the hardest hit countries, which ones do you think will be the hardest hit from this crisis in Europe?
Well, we are seeing that despite the measures that seem to be very harsh in Germany, the lockdown measures have been even more harsh in other countries, in Italy and in Spain especially, and also partly in France. And therefore, I think they might take even longer there before they can come back to normal. And therefore, I think these economies are most hardly hit by the coronavirus in an economic way.
Okay, and just quickly, Ulrich, before we let you go, we know that this crisis has exposed deep divisions within the EU. The wealthier EU members were very reluctant to share the debt burden in the form of Corona bonds to help the southern neighbours like Italy and Spain. Do you think wealthier countries like Germany and the Netherlands should be doing more to help those southern countries?
Well, what I can tell is the financial market perspective. And financial markets, fixed income market as well as FX markets, would love a solution where there would be more debt burden sharing, because this would reduce the overall risk of parts of the Eurozone getting into something which is close to crisis. And therefore, from the financial markets perspective, it's very clear we would love a more higher degree of burden sharing. But that's obviously not the view of many politicians here in Germany.
Okay, Ulrich Leuchtmann from Commerzbank in Frankfurt. We'll have to leave it there, but thank you as always for your analysis.